Game of the Year 2020, Final Fantasy VII Remake.
You will regret this.
The sector in which you stand has been condemned.
You're a soldier, aren't you? Which, of course, would mean that I own you. Through suffering, you will grow strong. Isn't that what you want?
Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. Ghost of Tsushima.
Some say he died on the beach. Others say he is a storm made of flesh.
Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout.
Never dreamed of
Spider-Man Miles Morales.
You think you can beat the Tinker? Rock some. You can't.
Every time I think I got this Spider-Man thing figured out, something goes wrong.
And the winner is Final Fantasy VII Remake. So it was all leading up to this, I gotta be honest, okay? You know, I made all these videos, and some of them I surprised myself, because I wrote out the nominees, I wrote out the winners, you know, as we were going on, and, you know, I didn't actually plan them all going into this thing. But I knew, and I've been saying this throughout the whole year, it's really fun when you play a game, maybe early on in the year. I think it happens every year, by the way. You play a game early on, and you set a benchmark, and you say, this is my favorite game, or this is the best game, or however you want to say it, that I've played so far, and let's see if any game can match it. And I would say, going into, you know, as 2020 went on, you know, I played Final Fantasy VII Remake, and it was, by a mile, at the time, the best game I had played. And I had said, all right, this is it. This is that game. Beat it. Now, all you have to do is beat it. Can The Last of Us Part 2 beat it? No. Can Ghost of Tsushima beat it? Close, but no. And again, like, games kind of come and go that I maybe didn't even expect. Fall Guys was like, you know, I know people maybe give that a bad, you know, maybe go and attack that game, but I really love it. And I've probably put, God, I don't even know. I probably put like 40, 50, 60 hours into Fall Guys. Whenever I play a game that much, I think the game deserves something, right? You know what I mean? Because it's like, well, I wouldn't play it for so long if I wasn't that invested. A game like Among Us, by the way, Among Us in general, I wanted to put on all of these lists, but I'm really going to stay true to my, if I'm doing an awards for 2020, I'm only talking about games that came out in 2020. Although Among Us was the biggest game of 2020, it didn't come out, okay? So I do want to make that kind of clear. But no, Final Fantasy VII Remake was perfect, honestly, in like every way. I mean, I guess perfect is a little, you know, a little higher up there, right, to say that. The game, I was blown away by it. I didn't play the original, I've said that before, right? I never played the original Final Fantasy VII, and this game just hit me in all the right places. The gameplay, because it's important. By the way, some of these games are driven by the gameplay or the story or this or that, but maybe they're not the greatest overall package. Now, generally, for these games for like Game of the Year, they tend to be just overall better packages. I mean, I would say The Last of Us Part 2 is really amazing in like, I mean, you have to come up with like some sort of list, right? But in a lot of different aspects, The Last of Us Part 2 is amazing, but in other ways, it's not, and that kind of brings it down. Like Ghost of Tsushima, I think was kind of steady across the board, right? A game like Crash 4 really shocked me in the fact that I think it's probably the best Crash game that's come out, which is wild because there's some amazing Crash games. So that game shocked me. You know what I mean? That game really surprised me. A game like Astro's Playroom, which didn't even make this list, by the way, it should have, because this game was absolutely amazing. Like, these are games that I think are very, very special. And Final Fantasy VII Remake is a special game. It's the most special game of the year. I cannot wait to see where now I know some spoilers, but I don't really know in all where the story goes, and they changed so much in this remake anyway that who knows where the story is going. You know what I mean? But the gameplay of this game is phenomenal. I loved, and it's challenging. It's really hard. I died multiple times, especially on certain boss battles. It's tough, but I adore it. And I just kept playing and playing and playing. And I actually didn't even do all of the things you can do with the game in terms of gameplay. I didn't play on the hardest difficulty, any stuff like that. But I adored it. The story, the characters. I mean, and I've said this before, and this is not like an attack on like these JRPGs, but it's got that kind of stigma to it where like things happen and characters kind of like let certain things happen when they could have probably intervened and done something and it would have changed everything. But because it's central to the plot and things need to happen, some characters need to stand down, some characters need to be not in the scene at all. You know what I mean? Like certain things that you really only get with or where like the villain goes on like a 10-minute story about them when it's like, well, you could just attack them and before like they do something bad, because you know they're gonna do something bad, but we're gonna let them do it anyway because there needs to be a moment. This game is flooded with that kind of stuff, which is okay. It's okay because it's not like it's in good fun, but like the spirit of this game is always intact. You feel for these characters, you love these characters. I mean, I adore Cloud. Is tough to get to love, right? Because he kind of is that more like blocked off character, but he's an amazing character. Tifa, Aerith, Barret, all these characters are so, and even the other like Jesse and stuff like that, they are so good. The cast is flooded with amazing, just talent. It's so good. You know, again, like this was it. I don't even remember what the 2019 game was to kind of have this feel, but I knew when I played. And by the way, one last thing, visuals, I mean, you can't even, come on, no game can even come close. Now, I am a sucker for that kind of visual art style, okay? It's not like the super realistic thing that sometimes other games do. Like The Last of Us Part 2 probably looked like the best in certain ways, but then Final Fantasy VII looked the best in other ways, you know what I mean? But this game just had that spirit to it that when I played it, again, I was like, okay, this is it. This game nails everything. This game has the emotion. This game has the story. This game has the characters. This game has the really good gameplay where I just loved every moment, even the side stuff, of playing this game. Let's see if a game can beat it. And again, like some games got close, some games surprised me that I didn't even think would be close, and they did get close. But at the end, I would say at the end of this year, nothing touched. Really, nothing got to the point of saying, okay, well, Final Fantasy VII can be pushed down for something else. No game did it. And we'll honestly have to see. I love doing this. We'll have to see if a game in 2021. I think there will be. I think there'll be many games in 2021 that are going to be really good. But I'm going to be looking for that game now, right? Going into 2021, what game is going to kind of stand out and be that standout game that I'm going to be comparing, or like like saying which one of these games can beat this game. Okay, so let me know, guys, in the comments below, what'd you think? What's your game of the year? What do you think about my game of the year? Let me know. Thank you so much. This has been an absolute blast. I've done 8 of these videos, 8 game of the year parts, and I've just had so much fun doing them. So thank you, guys. I know these videos did pretty terrible in terms of views, but I've loved making them. I've loved the time my wife put in and doing some of the graphics for me, and I'm very appreciative of it. I'm very happy with the editing and the recording and all the stuff that I've done. Hopefully you guys have liked it as well, and hopefully we can build on it and make an even better Game of the Year awards next year in 2021. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you all on the next video.